Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Sorry, I didn't realise I'd put that over my face. Sorry. Hi, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, over the last couple of days, we've been concentrating a lot on Victoria Taylor, who's still missing. I'm going to talk about her at the end of this video. We're going to talk about the hurricanes first, because I've wanted to talk about the hurricanes, but you know what? There's only so much you can talk about in one video. My voice doesn't, along with classes, my voice doesn't allow me to, unfortunately, just talk and talk. In the end, it sort of goes and gives up the ghost. So we're going to talk about the hurricanes. First of all, as I say, I've been meaning to talk about the hurricanes for a while. And then it's at the end that we're going to talk about Victoria and see, what developments, if any, there are. So it's all out looking for Victoria again. Yesterday, police gave us the sad news that, in their opinion, she was in the river. And that's really the assumption they're working on. But of course, there's still hope, isn't there? There'll always be hope until anything is definitively established. Yesterday, or sort of through the night and this morning, I noticed that on Victoria Taylor Facebook page is still up, and it's very difficult to believe. If you look at her Facebook, it's very difficult to believe that she deliberately left her daughter, because you can tell the love, the photos, the posts, the comments. Her daughter meant the world to her. So, and her partner. So, it's hard to see, but I know it happens. But it's hard to believe, isn't it, that somebody would deliberately leave behind a young child like that. So we have to hope that maybe that's not what's happened. Maybe she did just need a break. Anyway, as I say, at the end of the video, I'll be checking to see if there's any more news. Let's just have a look just to check now. Oh, there's some beautiful pictures on there that people have put of her with some of the people that she's cared for, because she's a carer, works in a care home. Such lovely eulogies, well, not eulogies, that's the wrong word, but such lovely tributes to her. She just seems like such a beautiful person. It just seems so very sad, doesn't it, that she's gone missing in this way. Anyway, so there's a lot of hearts on there at the moment, a lot of prayers, and everybody just praying that today is the day that Victoria will be brought home. And anyway, at the end of the video, we'll check and see if there's any news on that. So I want to talk about these hurricanes. I've been wanting to talk about them for a while. Oh, let me say thank you. So, first of all, I keep forgetting to encourage people to be members and like and subscribe. And, I have to do this, the housekeeping things that I should do, but I do forget once I get talking. But thank you for being subscribers. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Special thank you to my members. Why not consider becoming a member? We're going to have a members live tonight. There'll be a members live, and I think we're going to talk about mindfulness. A lot of people have mentioned they'd quite like to talk about mindfulness, because this thing with Victoria, what it has, the conversation that it's brought about is, a lot of people are suffering from. We don't know that this is the reason that Victoria's disappeared yet, but it's one of the options. Mental health issues. How many people have got mental health issues? It's so common, and it's often people that you don't even think, because people are good at putting on a show. Some people sort of delve into it, and they're not worried about telling people that feel low or whatever. But other people never tell anybody, and nobody knows until the worst happens. Nobody's got any clue. So mindfulness is a way of coping with depression, a way of coping with anxiety, and all these things that lead people to do extreme things. So we're going to talk about that in the members live tonight. So you can join to be a member from only $1.99 a month. There's at least two for $1.99. There's at least 2 members lives every month. And if you join as a Carry On Chatting member, which is $4.99 a month, there's a members live, an exclusive members live every week. So that's membership. Also, thank you to those of you who've bought me Ko-fis, sent me super sticker, PayPal me, etc. I'm saving up all my pesetas at the moment to go on quite a long location. I've got a route planned. And everything that anybody contributes on Buy Me a Ko-fi will go towards that. And I'm hoping to bring you some interesting videos from interesting locations. Yeah, going out and look. I've not been on location for a little while. I think it was last year, the last time I went on location. When I went to St. Michael's, wasn't it? Anyway, gosh, have I not been on location since then? No, I haven't. And of course, I've been to Prada Luz. That was in May last year. So both those times. Oh, and I went to Madrid this year. I did, yes. I was thinking, I'm sure I went somewhere this year. I went to Madrid and had a look where Anna Knežević went missing from. Unfortunately, Anna Knežević still has not been found. Her husband, David, he's in Florida, actually, in prison. I hope the hurricane takes him away. No, I don't mean that. But he's trying to get bail. He's absolutely going mad trying to get bail. He's trying to say, you know, it's not Florida's jurisdiction because what they're accusing him of something that happened in Madrid. He's trying every trick in the book to get out of that prison on bail, because you can be sure as soon as he gets out on bail, he's going to disappear. But anyway, it's not working so far. Okay, so I am going to put up my banner for, I've got a banner for membership. Somebody, one of my subscribers said to me, why don't you put the banner up for membership? Because sometimes people don't know, you know, how to find the link, etc. I don't think I've got one. I've got a Ko-fi one. Yeah, I'm not very good at that sort of thing. But anyway, yeah, I should do. Have I got one? Maybe I've got one somewhere else. Never mind. Anyway, so yeah, thank you. So let's have a look at this. Oh no, let me say hello to everybody first. Then we're going to have a look at the hurricanes. And we're going to have a look at 3 things. We're going to have a look at Hurricane Helene, which actually hit Tennessee last week, which I've not had a chance to look at with you. This, of course, that's currently in Florida, Hurricane Milton. And also I'm going to show you when we had here a couple of years ago, just before COVID, not exactly a hurricane, but we had some terrible storms that just wreaked havoc across Spain. So many people affected. A couple of people did die. Lots of animals, unfortunately, died. It's so very sad. You know, that's another thing, isn't it, about these hurricanes, etc. The animals, you know, what happens to them? The pets, hopefully the owners look after them, but the wild animals, you know, it's so very, very, very sad, isn't it? Right. Sorry, I've just got to answer this message. Because it's about work. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, so so we're going to look at when we had these terrible storms here, which one of my friends actually lost their house. Their house was swept away in the storms. So yeah, it's scary, isn't it? All this bad weather, because the thing is, it's so what's the word? There's nothing you can do. It's like the force of nature is just, there's hardly anything you can do about it, really. Anyway, I'm going to say hello to everyone. So, hi, Julie. Hi, Anna. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Lily Paulie. Hi, Laurie. Hi, David. Hi, Annie. Oh, have I already said? No, hi, Annie. Yeah, let's hope for a positive answer for Victoria. A ver. Hi, Daniel. Happy Thursday to you. Hi, Quizzy Call. Hi, Chumba. Probably end up. Oh, do you see that? Nightbot's come up. Who the hell's that? Is that the real Nightbot, or is that somebody pretending to be Nightbot? I have no idea. Oh, dear me. I don't even know where it's come from, Heather. I haven't put it on, I don't think. I don't even know if that's real. That's a real Nightbot, or if that's somebody pretending to be Nightbot. Just weird. That Nightbot's been an absolute nuisance. Hi, Pauline. Hi, Shelley. Yeah, we're going to have a look at. Some people have chosen to stay there. Other people have evacuated. I think that must have been the real Nightbot, but where's it coming from? Yeah, we had problems with Nightbot before. Nightbot's like a moderator, if you like, a spanner, but it's a robot. And you can program it and put it on, but I've never quite mastered it, because last time I put it on, just banned loads of people for doing too many emojis and things like that. It sort of just took over, and it kept putting everybody in timeout, even though they'd not even really done anything. Just put a couple of emojis. I know. And it's just, if that is the real Nightbot, I don't know if it is the real Nightbot. It might be somebody messing around pretending to be Nightbot. So, don't know. I don't know. We'll see if it pops up again. Okay, so I'm going to start. Tennessee now. The Hurricane Helene last week, wasn't it? Hurricane Helene, and that was in Tennessee. And because I haven't done an update on the Sebastian Rogers case for a while, because it's all been drama, gossip. Dog the bounty hunter, Nick the Hat, all accused Betty, bullshit Betty, all accusing each other of this, that, and the other. And then they did start. Steve Fisher, I think it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter who it was, but some people started doing searches again for Sebastian. But then this hurricane hit, didn't it? So that just put a stop to a lot of the searches and everything. And some people are saying that if Sebastian is sadly, if something sadly has happened to Sebastian where he is deceased, after Hurricane Helene, sometimes that means that things come to the surface, that have been, sometimes things come to the surface that have been hidden, like bodies and things like that. So we're still hoping that that's not the case with Sebastian, that there's a chance that he's been hidden somewhere, or, whatever the options are. But it's interesting to think, if unfortunately the worst has happened, is it likely that he may turn up now after the hurricane as things settle down? Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Chumba. That is exactly it. The way I look at it is, don't like a channel, why even watch it? Why watch it just to say, horrible things or whatever? Just click out of it. Or sometimes it might be a channel that you normally like, but one particular thing they're talking about that you don't agree with, or you don't want to hear about, or whatever. Sometimes, there are channels I watch that I don't like everything that they put on their channel. I like some things, I don't like other things, or they'll be doing a subject I don't like or I don't agree with, or whatever. I never go on and say, oh, blah de blah de blah. It's just they're doing their thing, they're doing their thing. You do your thing, and then you get other channels, like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not even going to get into it, because, when people's, criticizing people for not being nice, and then they're not nice, it's that sort of thing. But anyway, never mind. That's the way the world, I suppose. People like, but anyway, we don't do that, do we? We don't do that, and we don't encourage that on this channel. Nobody's going to come onto my channel and say, oh, another channel is crap. As far as I'm concerned, I don't want that. That's why I don't like channels being mentioned in general, because it's not because I don't like a channel or I do like it. It's just as soon as you even mention another channel, there's this, like, people descend on you, so that's really why it is. Just don't want the hassle, don't want the drama. Sometimes I will mention other channels if I have to, because I have to give credit to them for something that I want to show, or whatever. But I don't call, you won't really hear me on here saying specific. I might say, oh, channels that do this. I never mention other channels by name when I'm criticizing. So that's not what we're here for anyway. We're not a gossip channel. A lot of channels have turned into gossip. It's just gossip, isn't it? Just gossip, gossip, gossip. We're not a gossip channel. Exactly. It would be a funny world if we all agreed with each other. It'd be pretty boring, really, wouldn't it, as well? So what's Nightbot got to say? I want Nightbot to come back on. I think somebody will. So, yeah, David was just cracking that joke about pesetas. Let's just have a look at what that Nightbot has to say. I don't think it's the real Nightbot. Can't be the real Nightbot, can it? Yeah. Or is it? Says David Mabson, looks like your last year's model. So it's even cracking jokes. Stop posting links, warning. But you didn't, David didn't post a link. It's really odd, that. That looks like, it's because I've mentioned pesetas. Saving my pesetas. Oh dear. Yeah, I think it is legit. Yeah. I just don't know where it came from. I haven't done anything. But who knows? Maybe it'll pop back up again. It's not been on for ages. I thought I'd took it off completely, but I do want the Nightbot. I mean, I don't, there are certain things that what I wanted the Nightbot to do really was to come on every now and again and remind people to like, remind them to subscribe, things that I forget to do, remind them that, if you want to be a member, blah, blah, all those things. That's what I wanted the Nightbot to do. It wasn't, I wasn't maybe some words, like bad offensive words to not allow. Maybe that, I can't even remember what I set it on, but that was really all it was. I wasn't wanting it to be like, God, it was terrible, wasn't it? That first time that I used it, and it threw out, I think it was Rio and Desi and real regulars who hadn't said anything wrong, just put some emojis. It didn't like the emojis. So, yeah, very odd. Anyway, so what we're going to start off with, let's have it. Oh, so yeah, will anything come out of the Tennessee hurricane? Will Sebastian ever be found? And will all the YouTubers, and not when I say YouTubers, I'm including Seth in that, though he's gone really quiet now, hasn't he? It's all gone a bit quiet. I think it has. Maybe it hasn't. It's just I haven't even been looking at it, which is awful. Because I've been following Sebastian Rogers' case right from the get-go. I want to know what happened to Sebastian. We've all, our thoughts have all been with Sebastian. We've prayed for him. He's a young lad who's gone missing. I feel from everything I've watched, my own personal feeling is he has run away. He has run away and come to some harm. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think any of the parents have got anything to do with his disappearance. I'd like to think that Seth maybe has got him hidden somewhere. That's what I'd like to think, because that'd mean he was safe somewhere. But I don't feel that. I think he might have run away, and then something else has happened to him. But hopefully one day some answers come out about Sebastian. So going off that, where am I going here? So where are we going to start? Oh, so I just want to show you a little bit about Hurricane Helene, because Hurricane Helene has sort of been forgotten now because it's all Hurricane Milton now. But Tennessee's Hurricane Helene death toll rises as Hurricane Milton heads to Florida. So this was October the 7th, a couple of days ago. So a flash report from Tennessee's Emergency Management Agency has confirmed that the state's weather-related death toll has risen. And so there were 7 people died in Unicoi County, 3 in Washington County, 2 in Cobb County, 1 in Greene County, 1 in Knox County, and 1 in Johnson County. So that was up to a couple of days ago. I don't know if there's been any advance on that. But so now it's finished, like the Hurricane Helene has finished now, and the rebuilding process has started. Several agencies, including the Nashville Salvation Army, have volunteered to help East Tennessee residents on the long road to recovery. Private pilots have flown from Nashville airports to deliver supplies. Yeah, so now, of course, it's gone from all this about, let's see if I can find a video about Hurricane Helene. So, of course, that meant that any searches that were going on, for not only for Sebastian, but for anyone, had to stop because it was just too dangerous. Let's see. Sorry, just looking for a bit of footage of because I think, did it not affect Florida as well? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, let's just have a look at a little news item.
Many stories of survival this past week or so after the storm. Families swimming across the surge to get to higher ground and such. But tonight, we're introducing you to a surfer on Indian Rocks Beach who put his life at risk to save his neighbors as that water from the Gulf was surging in. Following Spring and Fox 13's Jordan Bowen, introduced him tonight, who met him tonight with this story. Jordan, sounds like this guy's pretty incredible. What more did he tell you?
Yeah, Mark, his neighbors say he is the hero of Indian Rocks Beach. When Marty Thomas heard a woman scream for help, he says he threw his surfboard out the window and started paddling towards her. Then more cries for help came. This went on for hours. He saved about a dozen people and their pets.
You're brave. Yeah. You're a brave lady. Definitely a brave lady.
Well, I had to be.
Ann McIntosh says she didn't know how she would escape when her home took on several feet of water. The door wouldn't open.
The beds were floating. The couch was floating. My brother and his wife were on the counters.
All three yelled for help. 2 blocks down the street, surfer Marty Thomas heard the screams. He threw his surfboard out the window and started paddling towards the sound.
I was walking around in the back unit just thinking, what am I going to do? And all of a sudden I hear a voice and he's saying, we'll get you, we'll get you. And it was Marty.
Marty and his friend were able to pry the door open and get Ann, her brother, and his wife to safety. And they weren't the only ones.
You're the angel of the city, so.
For hours, Marty used his surfboard to rescue about a dozen people and their pets.
She had the St. Bernard, which is a heavy dog, you know, so she couldn't lift the dog. So I just picked the dog up and threw it out the window. He jumped right on the paddleboard and was good.
Marty's friend on a second-floor balcony guided him using a flashlight, paddling toward any sound of people yelling for help.
He saved us. He got the door open. He paddled us across to safety. And just as an angel walking.
And it's tough. She didn't even need my help. It was about this deep out here on her. She was carrying her stuff above her head.
And a 27-year resident of Indian Rocks Beach says before Hurricane Helene, it never flooded once. Regrettably, she says she stayed, something she says she knows she'll never do again.
I never flood. Well, I flooded, and I've learned a good lesson thanks to my angel here. I have the choice next time. I will evacuate.
And says she will be forever grateful for Marty.
I think he's...
It's difficult, isn't it? Because they were telling everyone to evacuate, but you know, you can understand why people don't want to evacuate, can't you? I mean, you can understand that. And, you know, when we've been talking about prepping and, you know, go bags and stuff like that, when do you make the decision to go? You know, because really your inclination is to stay at home, isn't it? And if you've got provisions in and things like that, I suppose it depends on your house. My house is quite tall. We'd all have to go up onto the roof probably and hope for the best. But, you know, if you've got like a low-level house like these bungalows, where can you go? You've got nowhere to go up.
He's an angel walking. He is the hero of Indian Rocks Beach.
No, thank you.
And you do it so gracefully.
Thank you.
And I love you for it.
No problem.
And you deserve all the good things in life.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. You're pretty awesome yourself.
And throughout all, Marty says he and his neighbors have become family like he and so many others on their street. They lost everything and are staying with friends and family, helping each other out in any way they can right now. Get through this.
Goodness. So now let's have a look at Forgotten Fuel, Helene's devastation. So this was, I'm looking for the sort of what actually happened in Asheville. Let's have a look at this.
Everything that we put so floating away.
Oh, look at that! Oh, there goes the container.
I don't know if it's apparent what we're doing, but we're going to stack hay bales up to hopefully prevent water from coming up here.
I think these will work because they got so heavy. Jonah and I saw one of those huge.
So I don't know if any of you have ever actually lived through a hurricane. You know, it just must be terrifying, mustn't it? Well, this is anyway. I'm not sure if they'll do me for copyright, so I'm not going to look at that too far. What we're going to look at now is Hurricane Milton. So this is the one that's just hit. And I want to show you look at this. So this is Hurricane Milton. October the 9th, yesterday. Look at those tornadoes. I couldn't believe it when I saw how terrifying to see that above you. This is before it actually hit land. Imagine looking out your window and all that's going on. Oh my God. Oh my God. For any poor animals that are out in that, I hope they find, you know, some. Oh my God, that petrol station. We just watched that one more time. My God, that's how terrifying, isn't it? The force of nature is pretty terrifying. It's like with the tsunami that, you know, in Thailand and things like that. There's just no stopping it. No stopping the force of nature. It's more terrifying than anything, really, isn't it? Just absolutely terrifying. Let's have a look at this one.
This is the winds have really picked up. The water's really moving. You can get a sense of just how
these poor journalists that go out there and report from the scene, and then there are YouTubers as well reporting from the scene. JLR, he likes to do a bit of storm chasing, doesn't he? I haven't been watching it, but he has been covering it. But yeah, I do feel sorry for the people that are, you know, it's their job to report on the news. I wouldn't want to be out there.
How fast the wind is moving there. You can see it in the light there. It is now just whipping off the Manatee River. It's coming in from kind of the north, I guess, northeast, and the water now is really starting to pour over. If you look at the graph, whoa, okay, that wasn't good. We'll probably go inside shortly, but you can see the amount of water here on the ground. This is water from the Manatee River. It's also water coming from the land as well. But as I don't know if you can turn, Neil. Take a look at this. There's a bridge over there. I've seen some emergency vehicles going across the bridge over the last hour or so. It looks like there's one about to come across. But you can really get a sense of just how much that water is coming on shore now. Let me just grab this here. So yeah, like stuff is just this came from the river. Thankfully, it's just styrofoam. I'll try to put it down over here. Try to get that behind a tree. So yeah, that's just one of the things we're starting to see stuff that's in the river itself ripping up and then getting airborne. So we'll probably move. We have basically when you do this kind of stuff, you have several fallback locations. So we have several fallback locations, which we'll probably shortly go to. But this is interesting. This is the first time. So now the water's really come over the Riverwalk. And the water is now kind of staying on the Riverwalk, but it's also now washing up to this sandy area, which is about 10 feet or 15 feet or so from the edge, the river's edge. So it is definitely really picking up now.
it said 2 million homes without electricity. What was it? 2 million homes and businesses are without power. God. Get your candles in. That's one thing that I do always have in are candles, torch. I've got torch. Of course, on your phones now, you've got a torch on your mobile. But of course, if you want to not use your mobile as much as possible, if you haven't got any power to recharge it up, you want to save it for emergencies, of course. But candles, yeah, candles and torches. Make sure you've got torches and candles in. God. So is this the homeless guy? That's the other thing you have to think about, the homeless. Is that guy homeless and he's just sat in a corner waiting for it to pass? It's a terrible shame. There should be somewhere for people to go, shouldn't there? How awful. Oh, the sea frightens me. To me, that's terrifying. What we're going to look at in a minute is an influencer who's decided to stay in his boat. I'm going to have a look at what he's got to say. But I would hate to be on the sea when there was a storm. It would terrify me. The sea terrifies me more than anything. So nearly 125 homes destroyed before it even came ashore. So it has been downgraded now, luckily. So hopefully let's hope the full force of it is finished now. And it's still obviously bad, but if the worst of it is gone. 230 people died during Hurricane Helene in West Florida. Oof. Just so scary. So yeah, we're going to have a look at this. Oh, hang on, let me just put the sound back up again.
We're focusing on just recovering. Fortunately, it's going to be a fatal storm.
A fatal storm.
Unfortunately, it's going to be a fatal storm.
Do you have a number of the fatalities or anything like that?
We're focusing on just recovering, getting help to people that need it. Again, this community was hit from what the Dopplers are showing. We got hit the hardest, the quickest. Again, we say this wasn't expected. We prepare for things, but you can't expect or do anything when we have multiple tornadoes touch down in such a short period of time in our community. It's devastating. There's no words could describe it.
Yeah, because the people, what can you do when there's multiple places? You've only got so many emergency services, haven't you? And if there's multiple places where this storm is hitting, where do you send the help to?
As Hurricane Milton approaches, people have been told to get out of town, and many have. evacuated this city with a population of 400,000. I'm with a man who is staying put right here, Joseph Malinowski. Hi, Joseph. You're
What do you think of this? I mean, look at this guy.
on your boat, Seashell, and you're not going anywhere, you tell me. Well, tell me why.
5 years ago, God put on my heart Tampa Bay and get a boat.
So God told him to go to Tampa Bay and buy a boat, get a boat. And so God told him to be there. He's staying there, whatever. What do you think about that?
And that's what I'm doing. And I'm here for God. He told me to be here, so I'm here.
Are you not anxious? People are being told that to stay here is to face the prospect of death.
I'm in a boat and there's water coming in. I'm going to go up with the water, and when the water goes out, I'm going to go down. As long as I keep the water out of the inside of my boat, I'll be fine.
You sat through and stayed here through Hurricane Helene, which itself was a deadly storm.
That was last week. I did the same thing I'm doing right now. The wind came out of the west over here, pushed me to the east, so I was over the water, and I just watched it go up. I went to sleep at 12:30. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
So you went to sleep at 12:30 and woke up at 5 o'clock during the last hurricane. I don't think I could sleep through it. I mean, it's good for him that he's got all this faith. He thinks God wanted him to be there and God will keep him safe. It'd be interesting to see when America wakes up later, is he still safe? I hope he gets interviewed again. And you must be worried about your sister, Shelley. Hopefully the only reason that you haven't heard from her is because of the power being down and everything, so it will probably be difficult to contact you.
I suppose the danger is that the boat gets battered against this harbor wall or gets swept away.
Because I'm worried about it getting scratched up. That's it. I mean, that's the worst that's going to happen.
He's worried about it getting scratched up. That's all he's worried about. He's not worried about being carried out to sea. Oh my God.
So every day it'll be all right. Everything will be fine.
No fear.
No fear.
Let's just watch him again. Well, I hope it was fine for him.
As Hurricane Milton approaches, people have been told to get out of town, and many have evacuated the city with a population of 400,000. I'm with a man who is staying put right here, Joseph Malinowski. Hi, Joseph. You're on your boat, Seashell, and you're not going anywhere, you tell me. Well, tell me why.
5 years ago, God put on my heart Tampa Bay and get a boat. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm here for God. He told me to be here, so I'm here.
Are you not anxious? People are being told that to stay here is to face the prospect of death.
I'm in a boat and there's water coming in. I'm going to go up with the water, and when the water goes out, I'm going to go down. As long as I keep the water out of the inside of my boat, I'll be fine.
You sat through and stayed here through Hurricane Helene, which itself was a deadly storm.
That was last week. I did the same thing I'm doing right now. The wind came out of the west over here, pushed me to the east, so I was over the water, and I just watched it go up. I went to sleep at 12:30. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I suppose the danger is that the boat gets battered against this harbor wall or gets swept away.
Because I'm worried about it getting scratched up. That's it. I mean, that's the worst that's going to happen. So every day it'll be all right. Everything will be fine.
No fear.
No fear.
So yeah. Paulie is saying he sounds like he's had a drink. Well, I don't blame him. I mean, I think that's the only way you could get through that, isn't it? Just no wonder he slept for 4 hours then. He probably got drunk, slept for 4 hours. Maybe that's the only way. Right, now I've got some more to show you. So this is the first one is downtown Tampa. So these are different webcams showing the storm. I mean, it's quite long, so I'm going to Oh, look, you can see it's getting stronger and stronger, can't you? Gosh. Gosh. So from what it started at the beginning, which just like, you know, bit of rain and what have you, by this point, look, the difference. So these are like those webcams, you know, that they leave out. And then it started to go off a bit by the look of it. Yeah. So that one is the University of Tampa. So this one, this one's not available for some reason. Clearwater Beach. So that's the start of it. Is that the Hilton Hotel, I think. Hilton Clearwater Beach. That means it's the Hilton. Oh, yeah, it's the Hilton, isn't it? Let's fast forward it a bit. Oh, it doesn't seem too bad there yet. Oh. It's on the beach. I wouldn't want to be on the beach either when that sort of thing's happening. Like it seems to be, the sea seems to be getting up a bit. God. Gosh, I still managed to put their lights on. You can't see much on there. So a lot of them, let's have a look at this. Earthcam Live Fort Myers, let's see. Oh, there's some brave soul in a car. Gosh, now it's like just completely obscured. It keeps showing me too many adverts. Right, let's have a look at this one. You couldn't see much on that one. Oh, it's offline, that one now. Hurricane tracker. Shush. Tia, shush. Yeah, well, I think you get the idea from these webcam things. Anyway. Right. Let me just put that one down. So yeah, you just don't know what. So I think I was telling you, wasn't I, that the other night we had like what felt like a hurricane in the early hours of the morning. Maybe I'm being a bit dramatic. It wasn't like those scenes, but suddenly the wind got up, you know, and then we had 4 earthquakes in one night, starting with quite a big one, 2.0 on the Richter scale, and then another 3 smaller earthquakes. So we do get extremes of weather here sometimes. So I was quite scared when the wind got up. It was howling around, just came out of nowhere. It felt like a hurricane, but it disappeared as quickly as it came. You know, it just went as quickly as it came. But we weren't so lucky a couple of years ago. We weren't so lucky with La Dana. We had a terrible flood a couple of years ago. And I'm going to show you some pictures and videos that I've got from that. I'm going to go back to the beginning. So yeah, we do. We have extremes sometimes. And in my garage downstairs where I do the classes, right, so start with this picture. Let me just make sure you can see it. So I think I told you, one of my friends, she's got a cattery, and the police went round. So she lives out in the campo, out in the countryside, and the police had gone and called at her house and told her to evacuate, and she wouldn't evacuate because she had all these cats, you know, people's cats that she was looking after. She's got this, you know, brilliant cattery. You know, it's got air conditioning. That, you know, the cats are spoilt rotten. So the police came and said, look, you've got to come out of your house because your house is going to get might get swept away. And she refused to go because she said, I can't leave all these cats here. And there were too many of them. You know, it wasn't just her pet cats. It was, you know, I don't know exactly how many cats she had there. But she said, you know, I cannot leave these cats. I'm responsible for their welfare. So what happened was, she stayed where she was, and she was in touch. She did have electricity. She could send messages and things. And I was talking to her on Messenger, and she said, oh, we're running out of water. You know, we've got no water now. Because it spent about 3 days, because her house, she sent me a photo of her house, and it looked like a castle in the middle of a moat. You know, it's like just surrounded by water. You couldn't get out. The whole garden and the ground floor was submerged. And she'd taken all the cats into the house, because the cattery was outside the house in the garden, but she had taken them all out of there, put them up at the top of the house in the bedrooms. And there she was, stuck in the house, and she was running out of water. She couldn't get to the shop to get any water. So I said to her, I'll try and bring you some water. And this is what I faced as I tried to drive out to her house to take her some water. There were cars abandoned. There were trees in the middle of the road. It was, I could only get so far, and I just couldn't get any further. So I said to her, look, we're going to have to get somebody to bring you some water, because she's quite a little way away from me. Anyway, I phoned the police, and the police helicopter brought her some water. The police helicopter dropped her some bottles of water, big bottles of water. And that was what was happening. The rescue missions were out there. There were people using kayaks, you know, to try and either rescue people or people who couldn't leave their homes for whatever reason, take them water, take them provisions. So she did get her water for her and the cats, and everybody was okay in the end. The water subsided. And, you know, within a week it was okay. Not everybody was so lucky, though. Not everybody was so lucky, because, as I say, another friend of mine, their house just disappeared. So the police knocked on their door one day. They didn't live out in the middle of the country or anything. They lived next to a main road, but near a river. And the river burst its banks, and the police knocked on their door and said, look, you've got to leave now. If you don't leave now, we're going to arrest you and take you. You know, that's how dangerous it was. And they had dogs and 2 cats. Anyway, the dogs, of course, are easy to take, but the cats, they couldn't find the cats. The cats had, you know, done what cats do and run off or whatever. And the police said, look, you can't wait. You've got to leave the cats. If you don't literally come this moment, we're going to arrest you and make you go. So they went. And when they went back to their house a few days later, it'd gone. The house gone, disappeared, just not there anymore. The car was upside down. Just literally everything. They lost everything, all their possessions, all their photos, you know, like sentimental value things, everything. And they found one of their cats, and the cat was so covered in mud that they didn't know until they took it to the vet, and the vet cleaned it up. They didn't know which cat it was. In fact, the cat they thought it wasn't that one, it was the other one. Anyway, the other cat unfortunately never turned up. We can hope that it may be, so I think a lot of animals ran off, and maybe that cat found another home somewhere. Let's hope so. So yeah, that's how bad it was. So it was like something out The Walking Dead. It reminded me of, if you've ever watched that series, as I was driving down the road, just water everywhere, then abandoned cars everywhere where people had tried in the night probably to get home or whatever, and in the end they just had to abandon their cars. Oh, it was just unbelievable. Look at the water there. See these chairs here? These are all chairs from the bar that's up at the top of the road, and they all just came flooding down the street. That's a table upside down, and they all came flooding down the street and at this street and ended up at the end of the street. I think you can see. Let me just come back to you, make sure you can see. Okay, yeah, you can. Hi, my angel, Alfie. Julie, that's exactly what happened to my friends. They said to him, come now or we will arrest you. You know, the Guardia Civil, because they wanted to look for their cat, but it was, they said you'll be dead if you don't come now. You'll all be dead. Awful. So this was the year before COVID. This was 2019. Let me go back to the pictures. So this was in my underbuild where I do my classes. This is how the water, because I was sat in class with a student and we were waiting for one more student to come. I'd done a Zoom class with somebody else and it was raining, and we were saying, oh God, yeah, it's really raining hard. On this day I was supposed to go to the UK. I did end up going to it was my brother's funeral, and I was doing classes in the morning, and in the afternoon I had my flight booked to go to Manchester for my brother's funeral. And as I was sat in the class, I finished the Zoom class I was doing, and I'm sat in the class with a student, a Swedish lady, and it was pouring down with rain, and we were coming. I said, "Oh, I think I better shut the door because we did have the door open because it wasn't cold. It wasn't cold. It was about this time actually. It was October time, and then the next minute, my student said to me, "Oh, there's water coming in from under the door." And we looked and the water was pouring in. And when I say it was pouring in, it wasn't coming in slowly. It was, within just 10 minutes, it was filling up the classroom. And she said to me, do you think we should go upstairs? And I said, yeah, I do think we should go upstairs. So this is what was going on outside. And this is my student in the garage. That's how far up it came. She was wading through. It just shows you how warm it was because she had shorts on. She was wading through the water. That's how high it came, right up to her knees. She was helping me sort of get stuff out. Look, that's how far up it came. I think that's a pencil floating about in the water. God, and it was so quick. It was so quick how it happened. Yeah, just stuff floating about. So we're trying to get the stuff out. So we ended up, then another student turned up and a young girl. Luckily, there were young girls because I would have been struggling to do it on my own because it's up and downstairs. So we just made a chain on the stairs. With the younger ones were like the Swedish lady, she was wading through the water. She was like Laura Croft. Honest to God, she was like Tomb Raider. She's very fit, and she does these not Iron Man type things, but similar type things. You know, she's right into fitness. So she's walking around collecting all the things up, passing it to the other girl on the stairs, who was passing it up to me at the top of the stairs, and we were just putting everything upstairs. We just had to evacuate everything. There it is again. Oh God, it was a very scary day, that, actually. We were shaking because well, we just didn't know where it was going to stop. I mean, the thing is, the water kept coming in, but in the end you think, well, when's it going to stop? You know, we would go, how many, you know, I've only got so many floors. I've only got 3 floors in my house. I mean, after that, you can't go anywhere else. So, you know, we went up to the top. She was worried because her kids were at school. And we didn't know what was happening at the school. You know, was the school submerged? My son wasn't living here with me at the time. He was living in a flat a little way away, but he was okay. I'd contacted him, and he didn't have it there. It was so weird because it was so localized. Look, look at the this fan here. The water's right up to the engine, right up to all the wheels. No, it was terrible. This is afterwards, after we'd got rid of some of the water. This is where you can see how far the water had come up in the classroom. That's the line that it had come up to. So I had to go off to Manchester that afternoon. So I had my suitcase open in the living room near the stairs where I'd been packing my stuff. And it had rained so hard that all the clothes that I'd packed in my suitcase, the water had come down the stairs, and all my clothes were wet through. So I had to just take it as it was, because I didn't have time. You know, I did think about not going, but everyone was saying to me, no, you go. It's your brother's funeral. You've got to go. You know, and my students, just shows you some lovely people in this world. Because those, you'll see them in a minute, they came the next day and cleared it all out for me. So that when I got back from Manchester, I mean, it still needed a lot of work doing, but most of it had been done. The water had been cleared out. They'd thrown out a lot of things that were unsalvageable, like some of the desks and things were just, you know, they'd just had it. And then while I was in Manchester, my son came back to live at the house. So luckily he was here when I got back, because he's strong and big and strong, and he could help me evacuate. So look at the mess that it left. So this is the stairs going down into the classroom. They were filthy. It was mud. You know, it was just, I sort of forgotten, actually. I've forgotten what it was like. You forget, don't you? Yeah, so I didn't clear it, Julia. I just left it, and these students said they would come in and do it the next day. They were so nice, just so kind. You know, people are kind. I think that, you know, at the end of the day, some people are, you know, not very nice, are they? But really, the majority of people, they are kind. God, the state of it. At one point, when one of my dogs, my dog Rocky, liked swimming, when it was still full of water so the water came up to this second step, you can see where the dirt, so it came up to at least this second step here at one point. And my Rocky, little Rocky, he came down the stairs and he just jumped in the water and started swimming around. I wish I would have got a video of that. He was like a little shark. I don't think he realised it was water. He was just running downstairs, because he always thinks of the classroom as somewhere to play. It's a big space, and quite often we play down there. I'll throw the ball for him or whatever. So he was just all excited coming down the stairs, and then the next minute he's in the water, so he just started swimming. Oh dear. It was, honestly, it's like a bad dream now looking at it. It's like a nightmare. Oh, just looking at that there. Look how high it came up on the door. God. But yeah, thankfully it did stop in the end, because otherwise you just don't know how far can you go up. That was the state of it, the mud and everything. Look, the students took some photos when they came the next day. They got everything out, started clearing up. Oh, they were so kind. So this is the Swedish lady in the red. She was here for a year. She came over here for a year to learn Spanish. Thank God she did, because, she's back in Sweden now. She's gone back to Sweden now. She's a doctor. She's a doctor, and she took a year out. Her and her family came over here to learn Spanish. This girl is Dutch, and she's come to live here with her partner, and she was doing Spanish classes. And this is an Irish guy called Mark, who's also come to live here. So thank God they did, for me. Now they had a picture taken. So look what they did. They cleaned it all up for me. It was just so lovely. So when I got back, it was like that. Did still need some stuff more, because they didn't know what I wanted throwing away or keeping or whatever. So as I say, my son, he helped me. This is something that I wanted to show you. So then after that, we had this Kalima one day, which I don't ever remember seeing this before, when the whole sky was orange. Anyway, here's the actual storm. So the thing is, it wasn't just rain, it was hailstones. Yeah, it was very scary. There you go. And it went on for about 3 days. So just as we thought it had finished, it would start again. So we've got rain forecast this weekend. We might, they keep telling us we're going to get the tail end of all these hurricanes. I just hope it's not too bad. Oh, this is another thing. Look, so this is my student wading around in the water. God. Thank God she was here, because, as I say, she's a lot fitter than me. Oh, watch this truck now coming down. So as I'm taking a video, the truck comes down and gets stuck in the water. And why he tried to go through it, I don't know. Why did he even try and go through it? He's a guy delivering the gas for people. Yeah. I loved that pink van. That's had to go to scrap now, because I couldn't get the paperwork sorted out for it because of Brexit. Another Brexit benefit, because it's had an English matricular. Anyway, it's a long story, but I had to scrap it, unfortunately. Okay, so yeah. So let's hope we don't get those storms again this weekend. But that's the it's the Chihuahua's back. Right, are you going in the bathroom? Unfortunately, the Chihuahua has re-emerged. I don't know where it's been for a week or whatever, or didn't hear it for quite a long time, but it's back with a vengeance. Okay, so Now, I'm just going to have a look to see. Yeah, so let's say prayers for all of those that are affected by these hurricanes and animals, of course. You know, not only people, but animals. Let's hope everybody stays safe. Just hope that it passes soon and they try and get back to normal, you know, because it's the clearing up afterwards, isn't it, as well? It's not just the actual storm and the effects of the storm, it's trying to clear up afterwards. Just all takes so long, doesn't it? So let's hope, you know, that there's no fatalities. God, I mean, you know, I think there was only 1 or 2 people died in that that problem we had here. But the problem actually here was that one of the reservoirs, local reservoirs, or in quite a big town, was overflowing and it was going to burst its banks. So they took the decision to release the water in a controlled way rather than let it burst its banks. And that's what caused most of the flooding. So them releasing the water from this dam, from this big city, a little way away from sort of this area, or not so much my area, but near me, by releasing that water, that's what caused the flooding, like that took away my friend's house and things like that. But the problem was they had no choice because it was going to burst anyway. You know, that's the decision they took. They could see that this reservoir dam thing was going to burst. It was on the verge of exploding and the water just pouring out uncontrolled. So whereas at least by opening the dam things, the floodgates, in a controlled way, at least they knew when it was, you know, and they could go around and warn people and evacuate, you know, they went and evacuated everyone from their homes. But yeah, it was terrible. And it was the year before COVID when that big flooding happened. And then, of course, it was COVID the following year, and a lot of the people that lost their houses during that, or, you know, have got insurance claims, they still haven't been compensated because then everything just got overtaken by COVID in 2020. So, you know, it was a right state, to be honest. Okay, let's see if we've got any news on Victoria. The only thing that's new that I can see here, let's have a look, is the Daily Mirror. Oh, says the search for Victoria Taylor has now entered its 11th day. God. With volunteers revealing the only way they will stop searching for the missing mum. So they'll make you go right to the end of the post, I suppose, before they tell you what that is. I should just go to the Facebook advert, really. Yeah, I'm just going to go to the Facebook page. I'm not going to share, actually, the Facebook page because, you know, people might want to be private on there, but I can read you what, if anything, is new. Oh, I do want to show this photo. Because somebody, oh, where's it all gone? Somebody shared this photo. Let's see how I can show it without showing the whole of everything. Yes, one of the people on the Facebook profile, on the Facebook page, shared this photo of Victoria with one of her clients at the care home, and it's lovely, isn't it? So it seems like she was a very caring person. It reminded me of my brother when he was in a care home, and his carer was so nice and so thoughtful. And it makes such a big difference, doesn't it, when your loved one is in a care home? It's bad enough as it is, but at least when you know they're being looked after by somebody, who's caring and compassionate, which it seems like Victoria is. So I hope she gets back to these clients, because they'll miss her as well. You know, we need more people. It's always the people that we need more of in the world that end up sort of something happens to them. Anyway, we don't know that something has happened to Victoria yet. As I say, we'd have to hope that she may be coming back, not only to her family, but to her hi Heather, not hi JBT. You know, so we have to hope that she will come back, you know, not only to her family, her daughter, her partner, her sisters, her friends, but also to these people in the care home, where it seems like she's made a very positive effect, you know. So you can just see that she's a lovely girl, can't you? What, you know, anyway, let's hope, pray that she does turn up. Now let's see if there's anything new on the search just before I go. Obviously, if anything, no, there's nothing new on there at the moment. Let me just check on Sky News. Oh dear, they've got some updates on Hurricane Milton. Emergencies, let's have a look at that. So, deaths reported and roof ripped off stadium as storm smashes across Florida. People have been ordered to stay indoors unless faced with a life-threatening situation. Powerful winds ripped to the roof off a stadium. They're asking for people to come forward with their stories. Everything in the hurricane's path is gone. Well, multiple fatalities. Oh dear. So he added that, this is the Sheriff Keith Pearson, added that modular home community for people of 55 or older was hit by a tornado, and their whole homes with them inside were lifted up, moved and destroyed. Everything in the hurricane or this tornado's path is gone. Goodness me. But on the west coast, the warnings have been lifted, so that's good. What's this? Let's have a look at this video.
Crear un currículum vitae no es tarea fácil. Encontrar las palabras adecuadas, usar los mejores ejemplos.
The crane wedged in the building. God, you wouldn't want to be near any cranes, would you, when this was going on? You wouldn't want to be near cranes, trees.
That's in the building.
Oh my God. Yeah. So dramatic scenes. I'm sure there'll be more dramatic scenes coming out. Okay, so stay safe wherever you are, even if you're not in Florida. You know, it's always wise, isn't it, just to have your candles in, your torch in, some provisions just in case something happens, floods, or, you know, because you know what it's like at the moment with extreme weather things. Seems, you know, we've always had them. I remember when I lived in Reading, we had a terrible storm one night, and you know, that was good 40 years ago, probably not 40, maybe 30 years ago. And you know, there's always been these extremes every now and again, but it just seems more often now, doesn't it? Oh, so you're getting snow soon, are you? snow soon as for beast in the east. Yeah, there's always a beast from somewhere. They're running out of names for these hurricanes. So no news about Victoria so far, but you know, it's early in the day yet. I'm an hour ahead, so it's only 1 o'clock in the UK. So the searches will still be going on. Maybe something will come up today. And as far as the hurricane is concerned, just hope everybody's safe. So let me put up my banner before I forget. So don't forget to leave your fingerprint on the like button, please. I didn't put my code. You can buy me a Ko-fi here if you want to support my channel. What else have we got? Yeah, I haven't got one for joining for some reason. I thought I did, but I haven't. Yeah, so why not consider becoming a member? I will put a membership one up there at some point. Yeah, tonight we're going to have members live. We're going to talk about mindfulness. We're going to talk about something tranquil. Try and, try and do some positivity. Maybe some bit of meditation. I'm not very good at meditation. I get bored and my mind starts wandering. So I'm rubbish at meditation. But mindfulness, I can more or less cope with, as long as it's not for. I'm always thinking what I've got to do next. I've always got something I've got to do. So I'm not very good at meditation, but a mindfulness I can do. And I'm good at putting psychic shields and trying to, if I remember to do it, when I go out to the supermarket or anywhere where I'm going to see any people, I always put a psychic shield around me, and it works if I remember to put it. Sometimes I forget, and then when I can feel myself getting really annoyed with people when I'm out at the supermarket, I suddenly think, oh God, put your psychic shield round, because it just really helps you completely blank out people that are irritating. Anyway, okay, so prayers for Victoria and her family, and also prayers for everybody in Florida. See you later. Yoga. Oh, I can't do yoga. Don't like yoga. I like the gym, and I like walking and stuff like that. And I even like aerobics and that, but not yoga. I'm not a yoga person. Anyway, thank you. I'll see you soon in the next video. And until then, may your God always go with you. Thank you. Hope your sister's okay, Shelley. Bye.